Hello! So today we're going to be ranking the Doctor's costumes, but not in the usual way. So it's not going to be like a usual top 14 list or anything like that. We're going to be discussing them from minimalist to extravagance. Now, what I mean by that is from the most bare bones outfit to the most over-the-top and extravagant outfit the Doctor has pretty much ever worn. So, literally two opposite sides of the coin. This is not a measure on their quality. This has nothing to do with their quality. That is a tale from a different day, and everybody has their own opinions on that. This is just my views on how they've been made more complex. Well, it's more of a way of putting them in order of complexity. That's a good way of putting it, actually. An order of complexity, from minimalist to extravagance. I wish I thought about that before I started filming this. Anyway, on to the list. Number 14, the Ninth Doctor. About as basic as you can really get. RTD's grand vision for the Doctor's return to our screens ditched all of the extravagance the Doctor had prior to the end of the classic series. Wearing a leather jacket, a jumper, and black trousers, Christopher Eccleston's incarnation cut a fairly urban figure. You could see a character wearing this getup in, say, a 90s movie set in the North, or, you pretty much wouldn't bat an eyelid. But that's what makes it so important. It helped Doctor Who be taken seriously again thanks to Russell T Davies, while also representing the Doctor ditching his fancy colours after the Time War and representing his inner turmoil. He just wasn't in the mood, really. Iconic in its own right, it's the most minimalist outfit for sure. Number 13. The Second Doctor. The first redesign, as it were, the Second Doctor's costume was certainly not as well kept as his predecessor, being quite the cosmic hobo, so to speak. Patrick Troughton's Doctor didn't as much decide his look as much as it was thrown upon him in the regeneration process. Now, this is where precedent has been set for costume irregularities post-regeneration, people. Consisting of a frock coat, a shirt, a bow tie, and plaid trousers, it certainly is an odd mix, but not a complicated one. Like his predecessor, this remains a pretty consistent style throughout his era, albeit I'd say it's certainly the least fancy of the classic Doctors. Number 12. The 12th Doctor. Fitting. One of my personal favourites, this Doctor prided himself on his costume being minimalist, although he ended up with magician. Peter Capaldi's incarnation had a wide wardrobe of outfits, the most on-screen costume variations of any Doctor, and yet they never strayed too far from his dark colour palette. His Doctor had the striking image of no neckwear, except in special occasions, while generally mixing with navy blue wool or red, blue or black velvet coats. He remains quite urban even with his casual attire of the Holes jumper and the All Saints hoodie. He's an odd one to place really, but his costume is definitely long formal to smart formal. So we'll say he's still towards minimalist. Number 11. The 10th Doctor. The 10th Doctor's outfit is certainly one of the most famous to ever be a part of Who. With the long coat, suit and Converse, it's a mishmash of being smart, casual, formal and urban at the same time. But for many people out there, this is what springs to mind when they think of the Doctor, specifically after the words they've attempted. Personally, I think it's an epic outfit. The brown and blue pinstripe suits lend a lot to the visage of this Doctor and make for a stunning silhouette while injecting a lot of lovely colour. However, it's still very human compared to his earlier selves. It's not the sort of outfit that would turn many heads on the street, although admittedly that coat probably would a bit. Still, it's an excellent outfit. Number 10. The First Doctor. The man who started it all, William Hartnell's Doctor was characterised as the Old Man, and he dressed as such, in a fairly elaborate suit with plaid trousers and a racecoat. It was sort of Victorian or Edwardian fashion, but combined with such things as the hat and the cloak and the scarf, it certainly made the Doctor look a little bit more than your average aged gentleman. It's certainly one of the most elegant looks the Doctor has ever had. Number 9. The 11th Doctor. Now, the 11th Doctor is an odd one. If I was basing this solely on his original Series 5 and 6 looks, then he'd be far nearer down the bottom, probably below 10. His combination of the tweed jacket, bow tie, and shirts of various styles is geeky and cool, but also not that ridiculous at all. In fact, it sets quite a good fashion trend. However, things get a lot more elaborate come Series 7B when the purple frock coat is introduced, as well as a small variety of racecoats and elaborately designed bow ties, which elevate Massimo's geography teacher-looking Doctor to an absolutely sophisticated Victorian headmaster on a bender. Naturally, I love the purple looks. They pretty much suit him. Number 8. The 7th Doctor. Okay, now we're starting to get a bit on the weird side. Why? Because I'm fairly sure that many people would look at you pretty oddly if you decided to walk around with a lot of question marks on your jumper. But it's a life choice I'm sure that a few of us in this community have made at some point in their lives. Anyway, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor decided this life choice was worth going for, and as such, he certainly filters the oddball nature of his Doctor into the outfit. Along with the plaid trousers, a cream or brown jacket, and a question mark umbrella, it's a bit mixed up look that lets itself be unique and distinctive through that question mark motif J&T loves so much. His TV movie outfit, however, is a lot more toned down. Number 7. The 13th Doctor. Now, 13's outfit is also a bit unusual. It's also one of the most casual outfits the Doctor has ever worn, while still retaining that unearthly element. Consisting of a rainbow striped t-shirt, yellow braces, loose blue trousers, and a long light grey coat with rainbow piping, it's certainly got a motif about it, and indeed, not like a lot of things that you'd see. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor certainly knew how to make her look distinctive, though she absolutely rocked the tattoo remains of Capaldi's outfit, that's for sure, which is now abandoned in a charity shop. Dear oh dear. Number 6. The War Doctor. The War Doctor, as played by the late great John Hurt, had a costume that was similar to the Ninth Doctor, but a lot more elaborate and battle-hardened naturally. His costume is almost a middle ground between the classic and the new series Doctors, with a leather jacket, but a velvet waistcoat and a neck scarf as well. And also his obviously very unique feature to that incarnation, the bandolier. All of this creates a pretty badass look full of battle pride. Not the outfit of someone that you'd really want to mess with on a dark day. Number 5. The 8th Doctor. Always a charmer and a youthful spirit, the 8th Doctor dressed older than his years, favouring the Wild Bill Hickok cosplay and making it his own. It was an elaborate outfit consisting of a velvet frock coat, a double-breasted waistcoat, and a cravat. Very incredibly posh considering he just found it in a hospital. Later on, he went for an outfit that was a lot more casual for dark eyes, using Paul McGann's Bond-day appearance and hair length, and being more on par with the 9th Doctor, involving a leather jacket, but by the time of his regeneration, he had gone for a more roguish version of his original outfit, with similar vibes, but a lot more distressed, with added gaiters. Just as elaborate though. I mean, personally, his Ninth Doctor outfit is my favourite of his looks. Number 4. The 5th Doctor. At the time of his tenure, he was the youngest of the Doctors by a considerable margin, and as such, he needed an outfit to reflect that. With J&T ramping up how stylised the Doctor should look, Peter Davison was bound to get an unusual look, and he did, with the cricket-inspired outfit, and of course, added question marks on the collar. With a cream frock coat and a cricket jumper and pyjama-looking trousers, his outfit is certainly one to raise the eyebrows, despite actually looking quite good. I quite liked it anyway. The sneakers and the brainy specs were certainly appreciated by the 10th Doctor. Number 3. The 3rd Doctor. John Pertwee, being quite fashionable himself, was always going to bring this nature to his own Doctor. A very tall man with a commanding presence, he wore Inverness capes, a whole manner of differently coloured velvet jackets, and frilly shirts as well, and he became quite the icon of 70s fashion, while still also looking quite sophisticated all the time. It's an incredible look, one that is difficult to replicate, but my goodness did he pull it off. Number 2. The 4th Doctor. Now the reason for this one is obvious. Just how much more extra can you get by wearing a scarf that is so much too long to be practical? The 4th Doctor did just that, channeling his inner bohemian into the costume. Tom Baker absolutely owned the outfit, as it varied in various ways throughout the years to come, from a burgundy corduroy jacket to a burgundy frock coat to a burgundy greatcoat, and various different colours in between. He had multiple ways of wearing it, but the fact of the matter is, you wouldn't think twice about it if it wasn't for the incredibly long scarf. Whether it was multicoloured or burgundy and purple, it was iconic all the same. And finally, the 6th Doctor. It was always going to be 60 really. There's not one facet of this costume that is not elaborate in some way. You have the technicoloured frock coat, which is extra by anyone's standards to a ridiculous yet marvellous degree. You have the waistcoat, which for his first outfit was 2 different patterns on each different side. He had 3 cravats of polka dots or stars, his trousers are blooming black pinstripes on yellow, even his shoes are green. And there isn't anything about Colin Baker's Doctor that isn't extra in some form really. It is quite extraordinary, and the outfit just fits him to a T. Frankly, I love wearing the whole ensemble when I have a chance, but yeah, Colin has undoubtedly the most elaborate costume of any Doctor, and he absolutely rocks it. In my humble opinion, of course. I know there's a lot of people out there who really despise the costume, and it's not really admired by too many people outside of Doctor Who fans, but I have to admire the sheer amount of work that went into it. It is nothing short of an incredible achievement. So that was the list. I hope you enjoyed that. Do let me know of your own orders of complexity for the Doctor's costumes. I'd be very interested to see how everybody else feels about them. So, until next time, it's been a pleasure as always. See ya!